We begin now at the top of Daf Samach Aleph Amud Aleph Maseches Brachos. The Gemara on the previous summit just finished discussing the story of Rabbi Akiva. That Rabbi Akiva said everything that happens is for the best. The Gemara here concludes Hakol L'Tova, that Rabbi Akiva ended the story saying everything is for the best. Rashi here explains what he means. Hakol L'Tova. Rashi says Ilu Hayaner Doluk Haya Hagayas Roasi. Rabbi Akiva means that if the candle had remained burning, then the soldiers would have seen me. So it was good that the candle blew out. Ilu haya hachamor nowhere. He said the same thing. If the donkey would have been making noise, or the rooster would have been making noise, then the troops would have come and they would have captured me. And therefore, it was good that the chamor, the donkey, and the tarnagol, the rooster, got eaten, and it was good that the candle blew out. Gemara now continues at the two dots. V'yamar Rav Huna Amar Rav Mishum Rabbi Meir, and Rav Huna says in the name of Rav, in the name of Rabbi Meir, the following statement: Liolam yiyu devar shel adam muatin lifnei Hakadosh Baruch Hu. A person should always speak a small amount of words in front of Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shenemar, as it says, Al tevel al picha v'livcha al yimar lahotzi davar lifnei Elokim. Don't speak basically means don't be so hurried to speak in front of God. Ki hu Elokim b'ashamayim v'yato al haaretz al kein yu dvarechem muatim. Basically says straight out, ma'atim rather, it says basically straight out that one's words should be few in front of God. The Gemara continues at the two dots. Darish of Nachman, bar Rav Chisda Maidich Sivayitzer Hashem Elokim Es Ha'adam. B'shnei Yudin. Why does it say the pasuk that Hashem created man, and it says the word Vayitzer with two yuds? So the Rav Nachman bar Rav Chisda explains Shnei Yitzarim bar Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hakadosh Baruch Hu created in a person two yitzers. Echad Yitzer Tov, Echad Yitzer Ra. A person has a Yitzer Tov and a Yitzer Hara. Maskef lo Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Ela Me'ata. So Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak asks, but according to that, Behema Delo Ksiv Ba Vayitzer, by animals doesn't say Vayitzer. Less La Yitzer. Are you saying there's no Yitzer for animals? We see that animals, they do damage, they bite, they kick. Surely they have a Yetzer Hara. Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, rather what the pasuk means when it says Vayitzer, it goes like the drasha of Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi. Dam Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, because Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi said, Oili miyotzri va'oili miyitzri. He said, woe is to me from my creator, and woe is to me from my Yetzer Hara, meaning that if a person does what is good, then the Yetzer Hara gives him a hard time. If a person does what is bad, then his Yotzer, meaning God, the Creator, gives him a hard time. So that's what it means by Yitzer. On both ends, a person essentially loses. Inami, or you could say, Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar, that it follows the statement of Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar, Da'amar Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar, because Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar says, Du partsufin bar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Adam Harishon. Adam Harishon was created with two faces. That's the two yuds. Shenamar, like it says, Achar v'kadam sarasani, back and front, I was created. Tomorrow now we'll go into a deeper discussion about how Adam Harishon was created, whether with two Adam and Chav as one creation, two faces, or in different ways. The Gemara continues as follows: Vayiven Hashem Elokim es hatzela. It says that Kadosh Baruch Hu, God created the tzela from the rib, or from the side, really, of Adam. So Rav and Shmuel argue what this means, the tzela. Chadam or partzuf, one says it means that he created he had two faces. The Chadam or zonav, and one says there was like a tail. So Bishlam Alamandam are parts of Hainadichsiv Achor v'Kadam Sarasani. Says, I understand. If it's a face, that's what it means, front and back. There was a face in the front and there was a face in the back. Adam and Chava. Elamandam are Zonav, my Achor v'Kadam Sarasani. But what does it mean if it's a Zonav? What does that pasuk mean? The Gemara answers, Kid Rabbi Yami. Rabbi Yami, Achor l'maisa Berachos v'Kadam leporanus. Totally different meaning. The pasuk, when it says Achar v'Kadam, what it means is, it means to say, Achar v'Kedem rather, it means to say that man was created last, but he's the first one to be punished. Achar v'Kedem tzartani, that man was created last amongst all creatures, but he's the first one to be punished. So the Gemara wants to understand this. Bishlama Achar l'maisa Berachos lo ivri an mali shabbos. I understand when it comes to the last one of creation, it wasn't created until Friday. That's the last day of creation. Man was created last. Ela v'Kadam leporanus, poranus demai. What punishment did man get first? Elaim poranus the nachash. If we're talking about the punishment involving the nachash, involving the snake, that's not true. Adam was not punished first, Vatanya, but it says in a brisa. Rabbi says, "B'gedula maschil min hagadol v'klola maschil min hakata." When it comes to gedula, when it comes to great things, we start from the greater person. When it comes to curses, negative things, we start from the katan, from the lowest of the people. And the Gemara and Rabbi explains, "B'gedula maschil min hagadol d'chsiv v'yadaber Moshe el Aaron ve'el Elazar ve'el Isamar banav hanosarim kechu." That when Moshe speaks to Aaron, he speaks to Aaron first, and then he goes to Elazar and Isamar, Aaron's children. So he starts from the gadol. The klala maschil min hakatan. When it comes to a klala, we start from the katan. Why? Because betchila niskal al nachash, ulevasov niskal al chava, ulevasov niskal adam. Originally, the snake is the first one to be cursed, then chava, and then Adam. So you see, we start from the cotton, we start from the snake. So clearly, the punishment did not come to Adam Harishon first. Elo Puranus de Mabel. Rather, we see that humans were punished first when it came to the Mabel. Tichsiv, like it says, Vayimach es kol hayukum asher al pnei ha'adam me Adam v'ad behemah. Everything was wiped out from man to animal Adam. So what does it say? Bereisha Adam. Originally, first is man, v'hader behemah. Then comes the animals. They're wiped out second. So that's another explanation of Achor v'kedem sartani. Gemara now says another proof. Bishlam l'mandam are parts. If I understand according to the opinion that it's a face, hainu d'chsiv vayitzer b'shnei yudin. That explains, like we said before, the word vayitzer with two yuds referring to the two faces. El l'mandam are zon of my vayitzer. What's vayitzer mean with two yuds? Gemara is going to quote the same thing I quoted before. Kid Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi. It'll follow Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi. Diyam Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi. Oili miyotzri. Oili miyitzri. Woe is to me from my creator, and woe is to me from my Yetzer Hara. Gemara tries another proof. Bishlama l'mandam are parts of Hainu d'chsiv Zachar unekeva baram. I understand if it's a face, that's why the pasuk says that Adam was created male and female together. There were essentially one creature with two faces. It was both Adam and Chava. El l'mandam are zon of my Zachar unekeva baram. What does it mean? Male and female was created. Gemara answer, Rabbi Avo. That follows Rabbi Avo. The Rabbi Avo Rami Ksiv, because Rabbi Avo said a contradiction in Psukim. It says Zachar Nekeva Baram. It says that they were created male and female. And it also says Ki B'Tselem Elokim Asa Es Adam. Man was created B'Tselem Elokim. So what's going on? Was man created male and female, or man created solitary? So the Gemara says, okay, so how does it work? Originally, God was going to create two, but in the end, it was only created Adam. So the pasuk of Zachar Nekeva simply means that was the original thought of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That was the Havamina, but that was not the conclusion. Gemara brings another proof. Are parts of Hainu D'chsiv Vayiskor Basar Tachtena. According to the one who says there was a second face, it makes sense that the flesh had to be closed underneath when they were separated. El Lamandam are zon of my Vayiskor Basar Tachtena. But if it's a tail, what does that pasuk mean? Rav Yirmiyah v'Tamer Rav Zvid v'Tamer Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. So Rav Yirmiyah answers. Some people say Rav Zvid, some people say Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Says as follows: Lo nitzracha elo l'makam chatach. It just simply means the area which was cut, the area from which Chava was made. It doesn't mean the whole body. Bishlama l'mandam arzan of hainu d'chsiv vayiven. I understand why it means it's a tail. So then it was built. She was built up. God built Chava essentially out of almost nothing. El l'mandam are parts of my vayiven. But if the face of Chava was already there was nothing to build. So the Gemara answers, vayiven is for a different limud. Rabbi Shimon ben Menasya, it's to teach us the statement of Rabbi Shimon ben Menasya. The Darish Rabbi Shimon ben Menasya, Mai d'chsiv vayiven Hashem es hatzela. What does that mean? Vayiven malamid shekol HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'chava v'hevia la'adam harishon. And what it means is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, braided the hair of Chava and then brought her to Adam Harishon. Sheken m'kracha ayam koran l'kliyasa b'niyasin. Indeed, over the seas in faraway places, they actually refer to braiding as building. Davar another explanation. Vayiven. What does it mean? Vayiven. Amar Rav Chisda v'Yami lo b'masnisa Torah. Rav Chisda says. Some people say it's learned in a brisa. Melamid shebana HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'chava kebinyan Otzer. HaKadosh Baruch Hu built Chava, essentially built women like the same way that a storehouse is built. Ma Otzer zeh kotzer milamala v'racha milamata kedei l'kavel saperos. Just like a warehouse, a storehouse is small at the top and it gets wider at the bottom in order to be able to hold all of the fruits. They're kind of piled up in a pile. So obviously, when you have a pile of fruits or a pile of grain, it's going to be wider at the bottom. Af isha ketsara milmala v'rachava milmata kedei l'kavel savlai. Similarly, women have this shape in order that they can, basically for childbirth purposes, in order that they can be able to receive the baby. Vayeviyah el ha'adam. Then it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought Chava to Adam. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar. Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar says, Melamed shenas HaKadosh Baruch Hu shushvin la'adam harishon. It means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually dealt and toiled in arranging the marriage, so to speak, of Adam Harishon. Mikan lim the Torah derech eretz sheyachzer gadol im katan b'shushvinos v'al yerelo. You see from here, we learn derech eretz from here that someone who is greater should even deal with somebody who is not as great in order to help them get married, and he should not see that as a bad thing, as a negative, as if he's lowering himself. This is what we learn out from the conduct of HaKadosh Baruch Hu with regards to the marriage of Adam Harishon. Ulamandam are parts of Haiminai Saga Berachot. The Gemara asks, according to the one who says that Adam Harishon was created with two faces, which one walked in front, which one led the way? Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak mistabra de gavra sogi bereisha. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says it makes sense to say that the male side walked first. The Tanya, because we learned in a brayso lo yalach adam achorei isha bederech. There's a halacha that a person should not walk behind a woman on the road, va'afilu ishto, and even if it's his own wife. Nizdam nelo al gesher, if his own wife comes in front of him on a bridge, Yisal Kenel Etzadim, he should go along to the sides. V'chol ha'over achorei isha benar, anyone who walks behind the woman in the river, which is even less tznius, ein lo chelek lo olam haba, has no portion in the world to come. Similar brisa here. Taner Rabbanan, we learned in a brisa, Hamaratza mos leisha miyadu liyad. If somebody gives money to a woman from his hand to her hand, kedei lehistakel bun, just for the purpose of looking at her, afilu yesh biyada Torah ma'asim tovim ke Moshe Rabbeinu, even if he has in his hand the Torah and good deeds like Moshe Rabbeinu, lo yinakem medina shel Gehenim, he will not be clean from the judgment in Gehenim. Shenemar, like it says, yad liyad lo yinake. So they learn this out. Lo yinake ra lo yinake medina shel Gehenim. Learn this out from a pasuk. It says yad liyad lo yinake ra. This yinake ra. This is from Mishlei. Teaches us that he will not be clean from the judgment in Gehenim. Gemara now says along the same lines. Amar of Nachman. Rav Nachman says Manoach am haaretz haya. Manoach was actually an am haaretz. He didn't know this halacha that we just said. Techsiv, because it says in the pasuk in Shoftim vayelach Manoach acharei ishto, that Manoach went behind his wife. We just said a person should not walk behind the woman, even his wife. Ma'askif lo Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. So Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says al me'ata gabe Elkana techsiv vayelach Elkana acharei ishto. It says the same thing by Elkana. Vegabe Elisha techsiv vayakam vayelach achareha. So you're going to say there also, Hachaname Acharei Mamish, you think in all these cases it means that they physically walked behind the women? Doesn't mean that. Ela Acharei Devorav, Acharei Tzasa. Obviously it means that they're following in her words, and they're following her advice. Hachaname Acharei Devorav, Acharei Tzasa. So to by Manoach, you could say the same thing. He was simply following the advice of his wife. It doesn't literally mean he was following his wife, so he was not, in fact, an Am Haaretz. Amar Rav Ashi says, "Well, Rav Nachman." Now, according to Rav Nachman's premise that he was physically following her, Manoach am haaretz haya afilu beirav nami lokar. If you're going to say Manoach was an am haaretz, he's even worse than an am haaretz. He didn't even know simple psukim. Shenamar, like it says, "Vatakam Rivka v'narosev v'terkavna al hagmalim v'teilachna acharei oish v'lo lifnei oish." It says that Rivka and her maidens, they went after the man. They didn't go in front of the man. So it's a straight out pasuk. So to say that Manoach followed his wife literally would mean that he's even worse than an am haaretz. He doesn't even know simple psukim. Along the same lines, Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, "Achorei ari v'lo achorei isha." A person better to go behind the lion than behind the woman. Achorei isha v'lo achorei akum. Better to go behind the woman than behind someone who worships avodah zarah. Achorei akum v'lo achorei beis hakneses. Better to go behind the akum than to go behind a shul. B'shah she'atzibra mispal, in a time that the minyan was davening. This was mentioned previously in the Masechta. The idea here is that if you walk behind the shul when they're davening, it looks like you're porik ol. It looks like you're not interested in the davening. And here there's a few exceptions. V'lo amran ela delo dari midi. This is only true if you're not carrying something. V'dari midi les lan baf. You're carrying something, there's nothing to it. The idea of all these exceptions is that if it's clear that you're not being mezalzel in the davening, then there's no problem. V'lo amran ela deleka pischa achrina. We only say that if there's no other doorway. V'ika pischa achrina les lan baf. There's some other doorway to enter. It's not going to look bad. V'lo amran ela delo rachav chamer. It's only true if you're not riding a donkey. Aval rachav chamer les lan baf. He's riding a donkey. It's not a problem. It's only a problem if he's not wearing tefillin. Again, again, if he's wearing tefillin, it's not a problem because it's clear that he's not porik ol. It is clear that he fears HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Gemara continues at the two dots. Amar Rav. Rav says Yetzer hara domel l'zuvuv. The Yetzer hara is similar to a fly. V'yoshev bein shnei miftachei alev, like sitting between the two entryways of the heart. It's pulling at the two parts of the heart. Shenemar, like it says, Zevuvei maves yavish Yabia Shemen Rokeach. So you see Zvuve Mavis, this fly of death. It's compared to like a fly. Shmuel Amar Shmuel says Kamin Chitahu. It's not compared to a fly, it's compared to a kernel of wheat. Hudom, it's similar to Shenamar, like it says La Pesach Chatos Rove. It's a play on the word here of Chatos, that it's similar to Chita, to a kernel of wheat. Tanra Abano learned in a brisa, Shtei Kloyos Yeshbo Ba'adam. There are two kidneys. A person has two kidneys. Achas Yoatzasa Latova. One is meant to give him good advice. V'achas Yoatzasa Lora. One gives him bad advice. A similar play here on the idea of two Yetzers, a Yetzer Tov and a Yetzer Hara. Umestabra the Tova liyamino v'ro l'smol. It makes sense to say that the good one is on the person's right side, the kidney on the right side, and the bad one's on the left side. Like it says, Leiv Chacham liyamino. This is a pasuk in Koheles that the heart of a wise person is to his right. V'leiv ksil is small, the heart of a fool is to his left. Gemara continues with the two dots. Tanur Rabbanan learned in a brayso. This is along the same ideas of different parts of the body and what they contribute to a person. Kloyos yoatzo, so the kidneys, they give advice. Lave, maven, the heart understands. Lashon mechatech, the tongue kind of articulates the words. Pegomer, the mouth finishes the words. Veshet, machnesu motzi kol minei meichel, this is the esophagus. It allows entry and exit for all kinds of foods. Konem motzi kol, the windpipe allows the wind to come out, allows the voice, emits the person's voice to come out. The Gemara will continue on Daf Samach Aleph Amid Beis with this brisa, with more ideas of different parts of the body and what they contribute to the human experience. We'll continue that in the next video.